Morning children, today we are going to study another chapter, that is human health and diseases. And as you know that we have already studied ecosystem and microbes in human welfare. So this will be another chapter about human health and diseases. First of all, let me introduce you what health is. Now, health is physical, social and mental well-being of a person. So, health is defined as social, physical and mental health, mental well-being of a person. Now, let us discuss about the factors which affects the health, or you can say which influence the health. So, there are three factors. Factors which affects the health. First one is genetic factor. You are aware about the genes as such. You have studied the importance of genes and you know what genes are. They are located in the chromosomes, and you know these are actually part of DNA which is present in the chromosomes. Chromosomes are present in the nucleus. Nucleus is present in a cell. Now these cells are of various types present in our body. One of the cell is gamete cell. Now it is because of the fusion of the gametes which give rise to zygote, and because of the development of zygote, embryo is formed. So naturally we inherit genes from our parents. Since our parents produce gametes which fuses together to form an embryo, that simply means that we inherit genes from our parents. So naturally genetic factors will affect us. For example, a person having a Down syndrome, he will give rise to a child having a Down syndrome. So naturally genetic factors are very important. Okay, now in case person suffering from sickle cell anemia, he may give rise to a progeny suffering from sickle cell anemia. So genetic factors play a very important role in influencing our health. Then the second factor is infections. Infections also play a very important role. For example, a person may suffer from polio during his lifetime. That also has a very important role in affecting the health of a person. Then third one is lifestyle. Though we do not have control on genetic factors and infections, but we have control over lifestyle. Okay, now what are the factors which affect our lifestyle? The food we take, food and water which we take, then the exercise we perform, the habits which we have or which we don't have. Suppose you have a habit of performing yoga, you have a habit of taking alcohol, you have a habit of consuming alcohol, you have a habit of taking tobacco. So that means it affects health. So all the lifestyle, it affects health. The kind of food which we take, we prefer, that also. Okay, all these are factors which affect our lifestyle. Now in genetic factor, as I just told you, that Down syndrome, a person having Down syndrome, a children will also suffer from Down syndrome. That was my mistake, sorry. Generally it does not occur. Down syndrome, a person having Down syndrome cannot give rise to a person having a Down syndrome baby as such. For example, in certain cases a person may suffer from a disease such as hemophilia or sickle cell anemia. He may give rise to a progeny having sickle cell anemia or hemophilia or even color blindness. So these are the factors which affect the health of a person. Okay, now let us discuss about certain other things. Okay, let us discuss about what a disease is. Suppose any organ, one organ or more than one organ, if they are not performing their functions accordingly, we can say that we are suffering from disease. Now, disease can be of two types. Infectious, F-E-C-T-I-O-U, infectious disease, non-infectious disease. This can be of two types, infectious disease or non-infectious disease. Let us take the example of infectious disease. For example, AIDS, a person having HIV. He can transfer the disease to another person, and this this can be transferred through sex or sharing the same kind of syringes or through blood transfusion. Now let us take the example of non-infectious disease. For example, a person suffering from cancer. Here the disease will not be transferred from one person to the another person. So this is an example of cancer, is an example of non-infectious disease. Okay, now we will be discussing about cause of the disease, pathogens. So organisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoans, helminths, which have the ability to cause disease, are called as pathogens. So you can say that bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoans, helminths, which have the ability to cause disease, are called as pathogens. Now these pathogens can enter our body through different routes. You must be aware about this. For example, they can enter our body through oral cavity, they can enter our body through nasal cavity, they can also live on our skin, such as various kind of fungi affect our skin as such. It causes disease on skin. So these pathogens can enter our body through different routes. Moreover, pathogens have the ability to adjust in the environment of our body. You must be knowing that in stomach, high amount of acid is produced. In our tears as well as saliva, there is a lysozyme present which can kill the bacteria present at that place. Still the organism can live. So pathogen have the ability to survive in adverse condition. So you must have heard about adaptation. So they have become adapted to survive in otherwise hostile environment. Now, let us discuss about certain other things. Certain kind of organisms which are very common, which affect us. So common diseases in human beings. Firstly, we will be discussing about typhoid. So this is very common. You must be knowing about typhoid. This is a very common name. It's the causal organism. The organism which is responsible for this disease is a kind of bacteria, Salmonella typhi. So this is the kind of bacteria responsible for causing typhoid. Now it spreads through contaminated food and water. Contaminated food and water. Contaminated food and water. Now, what are the symptoms of this disease? Let us discuss the symptoms of typhoid. Symptoms of typhoid. Symptoms are as follows: consistent fever, then constipation, since this Salmonella typhi, the target organ is small intestine, so naturally digestion and absorption will be hindered, and so constipation occurs. Then headache, then fourth one is weakness, then fifth one is a person may not like to eat food, so that may be one of the symptoms. Okay, abdominal cramps may be also one of the symptoms. So these are the symptoms of typhoid. So this is all about typhoid. One thing I will like to speak about. There is a small story regarding typhoid. It is about Mary Mellon. She was the lady who was cook by profession, and she was responsible for spreading typhoid disease in USA at the time when there was no cure, and therefore she is said to be nicknamed as Typhoid Mary. So this you will get the name in your NCERT book about Mary Mellon. Okay, so how the typhoid is diagnosed? It is diagnosed with the help of a test called as Vidal test. And how it is cured? It is cured with the help of antibiotics. So this is all about typhoid. Now we will be talking about another disease called as pneumonia. See, you must have heard about pneumonia. It is also very common, especially in children. It is caused because of a bacteria called as Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. So these are the two kind of bacteria responsible for this disease. Now what happens in case of pneumonia? Let me explain you. As you know, you must have studied about the structure of the lungs in class 11th. The last part of the lungs is called as alveoli. Now this is alveoli, a balloon shaped structure, and just very near to the alveoli lies the blood capillaries. Now alveoli are very thin structures, and these structures are actually responsible for exchange of gases. That means the fresh air which is drawn inside the alveoli, which contains a very large amount of oxygen, has to be diffused from this side to this side. That means from the alveoli to the blood capillaries, so that it can be taken to the heart and later on distributed to various body parts consisting of various cells. So as you know, oxygen is very essential for our body, food for the oxidation of food, so that energy can be released. And you know, energy is very important, as our daily activities is controlled by all the energy which we get is responsible for carrying out our daily activities, and for that oxygen is required, because oxygen is required for oxidation of food, and that is the importance of oxygen, and that is the reason oxygen has to be delivered to all the body parts in a required amount. And similarly, the deoxygenated gas, which contains a lot amount of carbon dioxide, it has to be ejected out, and that has to pass from the blood capillaries, and from the blood capillaries it has to pass through the alveoli. Now suppose if this part gets infected, a lot of fluid accumulate in between the alveoli and the blood capillaries. That happens in case of pneumonia. The fluid accumulates in between the alveoli and the blood capillaries, and that is the reason why respiration becomes very difficult, because exchange of gases is hindered. Exchange of gases is hindered, and that is the reason why in a specific time interval we are not able to get the required amount of oxygen. That is, our body cells are deprived of enough of oxygen. That leads to a condition in which weakness occurs. It is also called as anemia. So this is the symptom of pneumonia, weakness, that is caused because of the deficiency of oxygen. And then we have certain other symptoms such as fever, chills, difficulty in breathing, breathing problems, in severe condition, the nails and the lips turns bluish in color. So that is the case when the severe form of pneumonia occurs. Now let me tell you, not only bacteria but even viruses such as coronavirus, which is very recently we have studied, the same kind of phenomena occurs here also. In case of pneumonia, in case of viral pneumonia such as coronavirus, the fluid accumulates in between the alveoli and the blood capillaries, and that is responsible for breathing problems, exchange of gases. Just because of this reason, the person is not able to get the required amount of oxygen. So it is called by viral pneumonia, and you know that viral pneumonia, we cannot treat viral pneumonia with the help of antibiotics. So that is the reason why coronavirus has become a big problem today. Okay. Now let us discuss about another disease. Now I have already discussed about this pneumonia, I have discussed about the symptoms of pneumonia, I have discussed about the causal organism of the pneumonia. Let me discuss one more thing about the pneumonia, how it spreads. It spreads through air droplets, aerosol. Suppose a person is sneezing, it can spread through air droplets from one person to another person. If suppose the person who is not infected is very near to the infected person, it can spread through aerosols. Now it can also spread, it is highly contagious, it can also spread through sharing of clothes, sharing of utensils, even sharing of pen, same keyboard on computers. So naturally it is highly contagious, and bacterial pneumonia can be cured with the help of antibiotics. Now let us talk about another common disease, common cold. Common cold. We are discussing about another common disease, common cold. It spreads by virus called as rhinoviruses. Rhinoviruses. Now, this common cold infect our nasal cavity. You can say the upper part of the respiratory system, not the lower part, not the lungs, and that is the reason why it is not fatal. Now what are the symptoms of common cold? The symptoms of common cold are sore throat, hoarseness in voice, congestion in the nasal passage, congestion in the nasal passage, congestion in the nasal passage, hoarseness in voice, sore throat, sore throat, sore throat. So these are the symptoms of common cold. Apart from that, apart from these symptoms, the person may feel tiredness, weakness. The total time period of the cold is something around 3 to 7 days, and the person recovers after that time. Now it is also a highly contagious disease. It spreads through sharing of utensils, again very similar to the pneumonia, sharing of utensils, sharing of pen, sharing of clothes, etc. So it is also highly contagious. I hope you like the topic. We will be talking about certain other human diseases later on in this chapter. Thank you. Have a very nice day. Thank you very much.